16 signs you have a wounded inner child. Hey guys, I'm Laura and I'm on a mission to awaken your awareness. So in this video, I'm going to give you the 16 signs you have a wounded inner child. Now, you may have just some of these, like some of them may resonate, some may not. Doesn't mean you're going to have all of them, okay? So, sign number 1 is you are easily hurt and offended. So, if you're easily hurt and offended, that is going to stem from some type of childhood wound, okay? Number 2 is you don't have a strong sense of identity. Now, that's okay if this is you, because your identity is as flexible as a contortionist. It can always change as you grow and evolve, right? So you can show up and be whoever you want to be. So you can start working on your identity now, on who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world. Number 3 is you feel inadequate as a man or a woman, okay? Number 4 is you're unforgiving to yourself, rigid, and a perfectionist. Number 5 is you have deep abandonment issues and would cling to relationships even if they are toxic. Now, if you have the abandonment issues, you can check out my video on the abandonment wound and how to heal it. I go deeper into it on that video. But yes, abandonment issues can be either physical abandonment or emotional abandonment. Number 6 is you don't trust yourself. The good news is you can work on that. You can work on the relationship with yourself and developing that trust. Number 7 is you experience anxiety when going out of your comfort zone. So that's going to be linked to some type of childhood trauma. The other thing is we store traumas in the body. So if you had like a traumatic thing that happened during childhood and you've stored that trauma in the body, that can also come out as anxiety. Number 8 is you deliberately like being in conflict with people around you. Now, I had an ex that was like this, and it was super annoying because I'm like the opposite. I'm not about drama and negativity and things like that. But my ex, who had a lot of childhood wounds, abandonment issues, seemed to actually like to be argumentative and to get into these conflicts with people. He was one of those people that whenever he would meet someone new, as soon as they left, he'd have something negative to say about them. And it used to drive me nuts because I'm just not like that as a person, and I can't stand being around that sort of thing. And I used to always say to him, like, everyone has flaws, even you. So, what's the point in focusing on them and pointing them out or whatever? So yeah, if you deliberately like being in conflict with people, you're an argumentative type, that's going to stem from your wounded inner child, and you need to do some work on that. So number 9 is you need external validation. So this will be because as a kid, you may not have received that love and validation from your parents, and you may not have felt like your needs were met, your feelings mattered. And so now as an adult, you go out and you seek validation from other people, okay? Instead of giving yourself that validation. So if you're someone that's needing external validation, you need to work on your self-worth, you need to work on loving yourself, and you need to work on giving yourself approval and validation and not seek it from other. Number 10 is you attract emotionally unavailable people. So I tend to do this. I tend to attract guys in that are emotionally unavailable. So they say your relationships, like when you're in a romantic relationship with someone, they say that that's basically a mirror to like your relationship with your parents. So for me, it's like my relationship with my dad was like, he physically abandoned me, he emotionally abandoned me, so he wasn't there for me, he was emotionally unavailable. So the guys that I've been attracting in mirror that relationship. So they are guys that abandon me in a time of need. They are guys that aren't emotionally there for me. So this is why we got to do the work on healing ourselves so that we can attract emotionally available people in, people that are going to treat us right and be there for us and support us. So number 11 is you feel that there is something wrong with you in the deepest parts of yourself. So this is a common self-limiting belief from a childhood wound or trauma, which is either I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, or there's something wrong with me. So when you feel like that there's something wrong with you, that's associated with shame. And shame is a very low vibe state. Now, the thing I'm going to tell you right now is there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Okay, so however you were treated by your parents or whoever when you were younger, that had absolutely nothing to do with you. That's their shit, not yours, okay? So you need to, if you feel this way, you need to commit to working on your self-worth. Getting your self-worth will make a huge difference for you, and healing this part of yourself so you can feel worthy, whole, and complete. It will shift your whole energy, okay? And you'll just be in a more high vibe state. People will react to you in a more positive way. So number 12 is you're a people pleaser. Now, I've had the whole people-pleasing mentality that I've had to work on shedding because I originally did not realize that I was being a people-pleaser. I just thought, I'm just being a good bitch to people, But people-pleasing actually stems from parent-pleasing. So it's like, as a kid, you're not getting this love and validation from your parents. Your needs aren't being met, so you're acting a certain way to get this love and validation from your parents. You're parent-pleasing. And then as you grow up as an adult, you start to people please. So what you're doing is you're doing nice things for other people in the hopes that they give you that love and validation back that you're not giving yourself. So you need to stop the nice guy, nice girl, people pleasing mentality. You need to start pleasing yourself, putting yourself first instead of other. And you need to give yourself that love and validation instead of seeking it from other. So number 13 is you're a hoarder of things, emotions, people, and you have a hard time letting go. Okay, so number 14 is you constantly criticize yourself. And if you're criticizing yourself, so that means that negative self-talk isn't actually you, it's someone else's voice. Someone else, like in your childhood, who's been saying these negative things to you about yourself, and that's become like your internal dialogue. Like if you're constantly criticizing yourself, and you need to understand that that's not actually you, that's not your voice, that's outside voices. So you need to switch from criticizing yourself to positive self-talk. And number 15 is you have a hard time committing or trusting. So that's obviously you've been hurt in the past, and that's why you're gonna have put your guard up, put some walls up, and keep a bit of distance with people because you can't commit or trust, or you have a hard time with that. And number 16 is you're afraid of being hurt. So you probably hurt a lot as a kid, and as an adult, it's easy for you to be hurt. You're afraid of being hurt, so you try to avoid being hurt, and that could be where the people-pleasing mentality comes in as well. Like, if I'm doing nice things for everyone else, they're gonna treat me good. They're not gonna hurt me. You know what I mean? So so that's the 16 signs of a wounded inner child. So you may have all of these. You may only have some. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because if you're trying to use the law of attraction and you're trying to manifest your dream life, then having these childhood wounds will create blockages. Okay, so energetically, you're going to be blocking things from being able to come in because you have these unhealed parts of you that will block and create resistance. So this is why we need to do the work, and we need to work on just healing our inner child. So our inner child is always a part of us. So we need to do the work where we're giving our inner child some love and some attention, and we need to go through the process of healing these childhood wounds. Now, they say 90% of your transformation is awareness. So as long as you can be aware of what the childhood wound is and how it's like what sort of like self-limiting beliefs they may have created. So for example, the feeling like there's something wrong with you, that is a self-limiting belief. If you feel like you're not worthy, that is a self-limiting belief. And these are running in the subconscious mind on autopilot. So these types of self-limiting beliefs will stop things from being able to manifest into your life. So this is why we have to heal these parts of ourselves, heal them and let them go. And the way you can do this is the reframe technique. So the reframe technique is you take a childhood trauma. So for me, I'll give you an example with my one, which was my dad who physically abandoned me, right? And I didn't talk to him for years because of it, because I couldn't really understand how a parent could just walk away from their kid like that. But I had to reframe, forgive, and let go. And the way I reframed it was, well, my dad had a lot of his own unhealed childhood wounds, and because of that, he was, angry and abusive type. And so I reframed it by saying it was probably better for me that he wasn't around than if he was around, because, it would have just created more of a negative, toxic environment for me. So you reframe it and you flip it, and you learn to forgive. The other thing is it's real important to forgive your parents. And one way of forgiving your parents is just by acknowledging that they did their best from their level of consciousness. So that doesn't mean that it was okay with the way they treated you and things like that. It's just having an understanding that they did their best from their level of consciousness, and they most likely have their own childhood traumas and wounds that are unhealed, that they're unaware of as well. So it's learning to just forgive them for things like that. And so when you go through that process of healing your inner child, this is when you fully heal and let go and release, this is when these blockages will go away, and then you will be able to track things in so much easier. So if that's what you're wanting to do, you want to manifest and use law of attraction, then you need to have a look at what sort of childhood wounds that you have. So I hope you like this video, guys. Feel free to give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you like this sort of content, hit the bell notification. I put out daily videos on my channel, and so I hope you stick around. I hope I see you on the next video. Have an awesome day. Peace.